How you doing out there, all you back cave growing? I don't know, basement coming at you. Alright, I got the pickups laid out where I want them, both of them. I got my pattern clamped to the top, and I got the top clamped to the body. So I'm getting ready to route that out. Normally I would drill a hole, but this time I think I'm just going to plunge down through it since it's 1/4 inch plywood. But for the people that may not understand the router bit thing, this is a straight router bit. Use some kind of a guide or just use it to cut, whatever. There's nothing to guide it other than your hands and your router. This is a flush bit. This bearing runs on the project like so. And everything below that bearing is going to cut right even with it. So I'm going to put that inside this pattern I made, and it'll run along the edge of that pattern. And hopefully it cuts it out and the pickup will fit right in there. See how that works out. Alright, I got the router bit in it. Right, the bearing's laying right flush with this. I'm going to plunge it out and cut one out and see how it works out. Well, that's one of them. Seemed to work pretty good. Get the other one lined up and cut it out. Okay, I got it moved down to the second pickup. Try and get that one done. Stop the project on the job so you don't pick it up and grab it or cut something yourself or something. But got the second one lined up and cut out. Take it off, see what it looks like. Okay, I got them both cut out. Don't look too hateful. So I centered up the neck and then put a line down through the center of it. That was where the center of the pickups would have went. So I took my pattern that I made, found the center of it, and put a mark on each end. So when I put it onto this top, I just lined the center marks up like that. Of course, you remember at that time the line was going clear through there because I had to remove that stock. Line up those marks and cut around my pattern. And it actually worked pretty good. The bearing just slid right on that, went around it, and there's a cover that goes over that. This is for a base, so it's not the right size, but it goes over that like that, and it'll cover up all the edges. There's one that'll actually be on it. So that'll take care of any of the little gaps that you might see. And then I'll get set back up for the next step and see how that goes. On the plywood guitar, I'm going to have something in here support for the bridge. So it's going to fit somewhere like in here. And I just don't want to screw it to this piece of plywood. Try to pull out. When it's laid on there like so, this is going to look right about in there. So what I put together is taking a couple pieces of wood made of shim, sanded it down so it'd be the right thickness and height. I'm going to unclamp it now. Try to unclamp it now. Let me show you what I've got. Okay, now I measured everything and took this over to the sander and sanded it down to where it would be exactly right. So this is going to set in here like so. And then this will screw to it like that. It'll be glued to the top and to the back of this instrument. I had to make sure I had it at the right height here. Now, I don't care if it's up just a little bit, because it'll come down, the plywood will bend. So if I take this, put it up against the instrument, like so, with this piece hanging out here. Then I'll bring it down onto it like so. Now, this piece sticking out here should be the same distance as here to here and from outside to outside. So now I'm going to put this in here. And that's perfect. So I know that this is exact same height as this. And if I lay this on it, you can see that it's the same. It goes right on there. So I know that'll fit right there. I glue that down after I figure out exactly where it is and what I'm going to do if I'm putting bracing in it of any kind. And I'll glue that down, glue the top right to it when I glue the top on. I'm going to glue this block in that I made for the saddle to screw down to. And I made this thing to set the distance on the saddle. It actually is going to go from the nut to the 12th fret. In order to get that distance, I'm going to put my piece here and put this piece in the center of the 12th fret. Now when I get down the end, I'm going to add about 1/8 of an inch. Because between my buddy and I, we've decided that works out the best. Then it gives us a little extra room to make adjustments. And the intonations are usually pretty close. So what I do is I'll take and set this, which I already have it. I'll bring it back down to the 12th fret. Then I'm going to take the bridge that I'm going to use, put it on where it's going to go. Center everything up. Okay. Now I got the saddle itself in the middle of the block. That way when I go actually to put it on, it'll work. Now I'm going to pencil around where it's going to go. And then once I remove it, all I got to do is put it back into that pencil mark. And I glue it on. I'm just going to use basically the wood glue, but I'm going to take this piece of iron here and set it on top of it to hold it. That thing weighs a ton, so that definitely will hold it, if I can even lift it anymore. Well, I couldn't lift it without messing it up. I'm gonna have to take an hour here or so and clean this workbench off, but you can see the massive weight that this thing is. And that's what I'm gonna set on it to use it. So let me get that set up, see how it works out for me. Okay, I got the glue on it. Got the weight handy. I'm gonna set it in my marks. I'm gonna push it down and I'm gonna lift it up a little bit. See where it's gonna need some extra glue maybe. And there's a couple spots right here. I'll just lay some glue in there and that'll force it out when I put the weights on it. And I'll lay it back down. Put a little pressure on it so it'll stay when I lift the weight up. And now I'm going to try to lift that weight up and set it on there without moving the block. See how that works out for me. Looks good. Looks pretty good. Clean up some of this glue. I expected it to come out. Problem is when you use a weight like this, you got to watch it because this piece will slide until the glue kind of grips, hold. So you got to make sure you got it in the right place and it didn't slide on you. Now I'm looking at my marks. Looks like it's right on it, but looks good. So if you like this little update on the plywood guitar, share it, hit the like and subscribe. Thank you.